everyone, it's Jamie and welcome to Flossmas Day 11. I am here today to show what I worked on yesterday for cross stitch. I also am going to talk a tiny little bit about knitting. It won't be that much and it will be at the very end of the video. And yeah, I'll just get started. So yesterday I worked on my advent ornament from thathowtogirl on Etsy, and I filled in some more of the blue on the cup. So the cup is mostly filled in. And then I already looked, and today I will be doing more stitching in the brown, which is going to be here. So hopefully we will see what our little tree is that is next to the cup, but we will see what gets done today. And then yesterday my advent chart that I pulled from my calendar was Sailor Moon from Tilton Crafts, which is why I'm wearing my Sailor Moon sweatshirt today. I figured it was fitting. And this chart is not on their website anymore. They do have some other Sailor Moon charts on the Tilton Crafts website, but this one's not there anymore. Anyways, so I'm really excited with what I got done yesterday. It was only like 600 stitches, but I focused on her face. And so look at that. She has a face. And so I'm just excited to have her face mostly done, because I hate it when faces are like partially done. And so they usually end up looking kind of weird. You can't really tell like how it's going to fully look and stuff. And so yeah, I'm just excited. Her face is mostly done. I still have some stitches like here that need to be filled in on the sides and like edges of her face, but I'm excited to see that progress done. Especially, and then the other thing too is faces always take a lot longer because they have more details. There's usually a lot more of like colors that only have 1 or 2 stitches, and so it takes a lot longer to get them stitched because you're changing colors all the time. But it's done, and she is being stitched on a 28 count fabric, 2/1 10 stitch. Now let's see, today's project, day 11. And today's project is Game of Thrones, which is another chart from Tilton Crafts. This one is also not available anymore. It was like a limited edition thing so it was only available for a very short period of time. I am back with Game of Thrones right here. And this is a chart that I originally started doing 1/1 full cross, and then I switched it to being 2/1 10 stitch at some point this year. And I did a few videos, I think it was one video, where I showed the process. I showed up close how it looks going from 1/1 full cross to 2/1 10 stitch, and I don't think there's that much of a difference. This diagonal here was where I switched, I think, and yeah, especially from far away you cannot tell the difference. And this is one where I started stitching it diagonally using Pattern Keeper. In the settings of Pattern Keeper, you can select if you want your diagonals to go from top right to bottom left, or you can have them go the other direction. And you can also pick if you want them to be 10 stitches wide or 20 stitches wide. And I prefer 20 stitches wide because I like to cross country in my diagonals. And then I did get off of my diagonals though, because I got to Littlefinger. I wanted to see how his face was going to look. And then I started stitching on Daenerys because of House of the Dragons. So that's a spin-off show from Game of Thrones. It's set before Game of Thrones and it focuses on the Targaryen family. So I was like, I need to stitch on a Targaryen while I watch the show about Targaryens. And I'm also excited because HBO, I think they finally announced that it's coming out. The next season of House of the Dragons is coming out of summer 2024. So I'm excited about that. But there's that. And that is what I'll be working on tonight, the Game of Thrones and the Advent ornament. If I get anything else done, I'll just be happy. I might be able to stitch on this today, the 12 Movie Nights of Christmas stitch along from Atomic Tiki Pins, because one of my kids did go to school, so I will have one pickup line, but I normally have 2 because my kids are in 2 different schools. So I normally do 1 pickup and then drop them off at home, and then I go back out and then do my elementary school pickup. So there's normally 2 pickups. Today there will only be 1, so we'll see what I get done on this. And then knitting. So I had finished my hat and I was like, I want to start something else. I wasn't sure what to start. I almost thought about making another hat just because they were very easy, and I like easy projects because you can just take them anywhere. But I started looking through the charts that I already have purchased on Ravelry, and I started looking through the yarn because I know that I had purchased yarn for things and then never started it. So one of them is the Nordiska, I think it's called, from Caitlin Hunter. I will insert pictures of what it will look like. And the yarn that I had purchased for this was, I had these two colors. So this is going to be like the main body color. This is going to be one of the color work colors. And then I still need a third color that is used very little for the color work. And I think that I'm going to start this. I need to do a gauge swatch and do all that stuff because I normally don't gauge swatch, I will say that. Normally I'm just like, eh, whatever. But I'm going to this time. And this yarn is from So Livy Dyes Yarn. She does not dye yarn anymore, but I got these from her to make this sweater. That was the whole point. I bought these and I was like, oh, this would make a nice sweater. So this color is Black Forest, and I have two of these. And then I have this color here, which is called Maple Pie. And then I have two different options because you need a third color that's used a little bit at the bottom for the color work. And I have this, which is Holst Garn in the color Almond that I'm thinking about doing. Or I also have this color here, which is the same yarn that I used for my Musselburgh hat. And I don't know. I think this might work. I'm just not sure about, this has like blues and yellows and stuff, and I'm not sure how that would go with these colors, but it's a possibility. So I have two different ones. I do need to do a gauge swatch though, and then it says for the gauge swatch to make it in the round because the sweater is knit. You start knitting the sweater flat and then you connect it to start knitting it in the round once you have like the V portion, because this is a V-neck sweater. And then, so you need to have the gauge swatch in the round, and you also need to gauge swatch the one color, and then you also need to have a gauge swatch of the color work. And like I said, I normally don't gauge swatch, so this is something where who knows how long it will take me to actually appropriately gauge swatch, because then after that you also need to block your swatch if you want to like appropriately swatch. So that could take a while, but I plan on trying to start this today-ish. We will see how long it takes me to get all of this into cakes, but I really want to get this started and try it. And part of the reason why I have been nervous to try it is because this sweater has cables. It's a raglan sweater where you do the increases at like a set point to make like, it normally makes like a little like line there, but this one has cables where you are doing the raglans, and so I've never done cables before. So that is something that I also want to test out while I'm gauge swatching, is attempting cables. Like, it has directions. Usually I am fairly good if there is good directions at just following them, but obviously sometimes, you know, you can be fiddly, but so that is what I have going on for today. I will work on Game of Thrones. I will potentially start the gauging process for the sweater. I'm not sure if I will use the Holst Garn, that's just basic, or if I will use this yarn, which is Leon Alexander's, also discontinued, which means all the yarns for the sweater could be discontinued. Sad. Anyways, I'll be back tomorrow for day 12 to show whatever I end up getting done on these things. But thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!